Hey, it's John with Fix It with Foleys, and this morning I'm here smoking something in the backyard. I thought I'd show you a quick tip to do turkey breast in the smoker. It's quick, it's easy, it's easier than doing a big turkey if you're having a small crowd. And because I'm smoking something, you know, smoke more stuff in the oven, it's all going to go at the same time. I'm going to put these ribs in there. And today I'm using a little combination of a hickory and a apple. So that we'll get a nice blend. The apple's real good with the turkey, the hickory with this, but it's kind of a mix. I create my own mix. We're going to be cooking at 250. I'm using the Charbroil electric smoker today because it is very easy to do, and I like easy. I have a wood smoker over here, pizza oven, but it takes a lot more work to keep it at the right temperature. I want to maintain 250, and this thing sets it automatically. I also have probes that I'm putting into the meat, and I'm going to use this device here, which will help to keep the temperature, and I can track it on my phone. So I have an app on the phone, and it links up to this piece up on the top here, and what I'm going to do is monitor my cook. There's also a probe that goes into the oven to monitor the temperature. So I'm going to have 3 probes going today. They're all connected to the phone, and we're gonna put these into the smoker, and we'll check back with a little bit and see what's going on. So now I've got the ribs and the turkey breast in the smoker. I did put on top of them a rub, a little mix of coffee, herbs, garlic, spices that gives it a nice, so it's a dry rub, and it'll give it lots of flavor. I'm also using a kosher turkey because it's kind of pre-brined. They soak it in salt water, which makes it very tender and tasty. So they're in there now. The timer is, I'm actually not using the timer, I'm using temperature. So I have the probe set for this. It'll actually shut it off and put it in a keep warm mode as soon as it reaches my desired temperature. I've set that for the turkey at 165. I also have in the ribs, I have a probe, and both of those are connected up here to the iGrill. Charbroil has its own probe, and that's going to monitor the turkey breast for me. I want it to shut off when that's done. I don't want the turkey breast getting overdone. So we'll check back in a little while. So we're back. The smoker's been smoking for all afternoon, all morning. It's afternoon now, and the sun's getting a little further in the sky, and that means it's time to take this stuff out of the smoker and let it rest for a little while. I got the cutting boards out, so I'm going to bring them out. They're both pretty much registering as done. I have all my different sensors telling me it's time, so we're going to take them out and see what we got. So now the moment, I'm going to open the, you can smell these things smoking away, so they really smell good. You can't get that on TV, but wait till you see these things come out. I'm going to pop these open. I got my tongs and my glove here, so unlock the smoker. I'm going to take out the turkey. I want to remove this sensor. Actually, I don't need to remove it. I can just move this over here. And we're going to grab the ribs now. Put those on the rack. And that looks pretty good. The smoker is off. The turkey breast and the ribs are done, and they smell delicious, absolutely delicious. So we'll check back a little later. Well, after many hours of smoking in the smoker, the ribs and the turkey breast are done, and I don't know which smells better, but they're both really smelling good and looking delicious. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this quick tip on smoking in the backyard. Hey, it's John with Fix It with Foley, and I am here today to discuss something that a lot of people don't like to discuss often, but with the holidays coming up and a lot of extra family members and guests in the house, you inevitably run into these issues. I learned about this years ago in the hardware store, where people would come in after Thanksgiving or Christmas or any big holiday where they had family members gathering, and we would have requests to stop, to clear up a stopped toilet. So always the number one way to do it would be with the plunger, because the plunger has a lot of force of air. This plunger is got a large bellow, which would help push more air down. Hopefully it would clear out any clogs. Usually a lot of extra paper pushes it through. This plunger is not so good for toilets. It's better for sinks. It has just a wide opening here. If you notice on this plunger, which is more of your traditional plunger made for toilets, it has a little flap that comes out on the inside. So that would cover the bowl, and you would have a better seal so you can force more air through. But some of the new toilets have a wider opening, and you would want to use a wider piece on the bottom. So sink plungers, toilet plungers, if that doesn't fail, there are drain cleaning tools, little snakes, but this is really the tool you need for the toilet. And the reason you need this is because you don't want to scratch the white porcelain or colored porcelain in your toilet. This has a rubber sleeve. You would slide this down into the bend of the toilet and then push through the clog. It just goes right over the back. You can see a little illustration here, and it's not far. It's just in the toilet right there. That's usually where the clog is. If it's beyond that, you probably need to call professional service to come in and clean the main drain lines out, which does happen. Clogged sinks, you know, you have a slow running sink, a lot of times it's just hair, or in the shower drain. A little drain stick like this is all you really need. It pushes down into the drain, you move it around, it pulls out hair on these little barbed wires, and it really does a good job. If it's further down, you could use a different type which would extend longer, and you can push that down through the drain, and then when you're done, it simply winds back up for storage in case you need to use it again. Well, you usually do. So for toilets, you can't really use liquid drain cleaners because it doesn't really get to the trap, except for this one flow. But then you would have to leave it in there for some time, so it's not an immediate fix. The plunger is really the way to go, or the drain cleaning tool. But for clogged drains in the house, these products do work very well. Potassium hydroxide, it's not too dangerous. Pour it in the drain, let it sit for up to 3 hours, flush it with water. This one works a little quicker, 15 minutes. Also usable on toilets if you have a lot of paper and you don't have a plunger that's working. So anyway, with the holidays coming up, I thought I'd just share with you. It's strange to me to learn that this is such a busy time of year for drain cleaning products, but with all the guests in the house, you want to make sure things are flowing easy. Hey, it's John with Fix It with Foley, and let's get baking. It's the season. Everybody's looking forward to holidays. I know everybody loves to bake, but it's kind of a chore. You have a lot of work to do. So what do you got here to help?
Okay, first off, we need a nice big mixing bowl to put everything in. We need the measuring cup, which is great for all the liquid ingredients. This I recommend for all the dry ingredients.
So you have basically all the different things you need here to measure it out,
including
your measuring
and our
spoons.
measuring spoons also.
So in hardware we say measure twice, cut once. I guess you really want to make sure you put the right amount of baking soda and all
yes,
that stuff
everything
in.
has to be precise when it comes to baking.
So once you got everything mixed in the bowl, you've got to maybe roll the dough out?
We have to roll our dough out. We also have a baking mat, which is great to use for your baking pan. Makes everything come right off. You don't have to worry about your cookies sticking to your pan.
So you roll this out and it sticks right onto the bottom of the pan, and then the cookies or whatever go on top of it, and it makes cleanup.
It makes cleanup
So not only baking's easy, cleanup's easy.
Right. We have some pretty pie pans.
Because everybody loves apple pie. This looks really cool. This makes your work go a lot faster. It actually is going to peel and core your apple by just turning the knob.
Right.
So once you got everything into the pie plate, you want to use these?
These are pie weights, and what you do with these is sometimes a recipe calls for baking a pie blind, which means that it's just the crust. So you would take these, put them inside your crust, put your pie in the oven and then let it bake. When it comes out, your crust will come out nice and flat.
So it keeps it from poofing
right,
up
no
and getting
bubbles,
all burnt.
no nothing. Yes.
Wow. So
yes.
that's going to look nice,
and that's
too.
where you can use those over and over again.
You can put the timer on to make sure you got everything cooking
out, right.
When it comes out of the oven, you want to make sure you use a good pair of oven mitts so you don't burn your hands, which I've done before.
Down there we have our cooling rack, which we put, which is something you definitely need.
So it can sit on the cooling rack, cool off, and then afterwards you can decorate it with your family, have the kids get involved.
Right.
That's the fun part, right?
Yes. Over here we have our springform pan. This pan is mostly used for maybe like making cheesecakes, and what's good about this is that the sides of this pan come off.
So the cake will pop right out.
It comes right off. You don't have to worry about flipping or any. Yeah. So
when I bake a cake, it
great.
comes in pieces. They taste great, but it doesn't look so great. And I love this over here. This is for making cookies.
Yes, this is great for the kids. This is a nice project to do with your children. Fun, just put the dough right in, squeeze, the dough comes right out, and kids love doing this.
It's a cookie gun.
It's a cookie gun.
You shoot cookies.
And you decorate them.
And then you decorate them.
They come out beautiful.
Wow, that's great, Nancy.
Yep.
This looks really fun. I want to start baking now.
Yeah.
So let's get baking with
All
Fix It
right.
with Foleys. Thanks, Nancy.
Let's do it. All right.
Hey, it's John at Fix It with Foleys, and we have John Stackpole here. He's got the van, he's on location, and he's got a bunch of work ahead of him today. He's brought all the supplies he needs so he doesn't have to leave the job site, make it more efficient, less expensive for the customer, and saves you a lot of aggravation running around trying to find the products you need.
Absolutely. Yes, having everything with us in the van and being able to unload and being able to come back to the van and get other things that we need, supplies, screws, nuts, bolts, wood, patch, whatever it may be. We just now have it all in the van, and it's just very organized and easy to spot everything that we need and get back on the job.
Yeah, it looks great. Can you come do the workshop at my house like this?
Sure, why not? Absolutely.
I guess it could be another thing on your handyman to-do list.
No problem.
All right, thanks, John. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hey, it's John at Fix It with Foley, and I'm here on location today with John Stackpole, the handyman, and he's doing a bunch of work around the house. I thought I'd just highlight a few of the details that he's working on today. So tell us, John, what you're working on.
So we're working on a number of things here. This job right here that we're in this small bedroom is basically just some patching of the walls, the ceiling. We're going to put a fresh coat of paint on the walls and on the ceiling and the trim. And we just had to do some patching in a couple areas that were cracked and needed to be fixed. So this is very
prep work today, and then when it's all dry and sanded, you're going to paint the room, and it's going to look like a fresh coat of paint.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Yep, sounds good. Let's go take a look in the basement, see what you're working on down there.
Sounds good.
All right.
Hi, this is John from Foleys Handyman. I'm here in the basement of the house we were talking about earlier, and we have this opening that needed to be fixed. There was a plumbing problem originally in the house, and they needed to gain access to a mechanical room back here that was actually not even known to the homeowner. But in investigation, they had to open up this wall, and so yesterday we cut out the hole a little bit, framed it out, did some finish work, and now we're going to get ready to do some more work to this opening by installing this panel door that I made. And this will get hinged to the side like this and to the frame here, so it will swing open. We'll have some more hardware to put on the door, a handle, etc. And then basically this will fit into this opening that we've created and framed out. And voila, this door will sit here, and so if anybody needs access to this area of the house later on, they can gain access easily, get inside, but when it's not being used or no access needed, then you'll have a panel here that will give access and be closed.
So what are you working on out here?
Yeah, so actually it's nice to be outside right now, and so in this project we've got a couple of things going on inside the house, and we have one project going on the outside of the house. So with this project, it's a sill replacement that needs to be done because the original sill has rotted out, and we need to put another sill of pressure treated wood underneath so that does not rot, and then close this all up, especially that it's going to be raining tomorrow. So We want to get this work all done today and finished and move on to our inside stuff for tomorrow.
So you removed all the rotten wood, you have some new board that you're going to replace it with, and then it's a matter of resealing it, caulking it, and painting it, and they should be back in business. All right, well, let's, I'll take a look at the progress.
Great. We have this pressure treated 2x6 that we're going to be using to put in a new wood sill on this exterior window frame. And so we're going to piece this in later on today, caulk it all in, get it all set in, nail it in, screw it in, excuse me, and then finish it with paint, etc. And then it will look like new again and be watertight and will last a long time.